Dual serrated Nichirin katanas. While most demon slayers wield a single standard Nichirin katana, Inosuke Hashira stands out entirely. He fights with two Nichirin katanas at once. Each blade is indigo gray in color, a hue symbolizing resourcefulness and latent strength, perfectly reflecting Inosuke's nature, reckless and feral, yet incredibly sharp in battle. Unlike the smooth, polished edge of a regular Nichirin sword, Inosuke deliberately chipped and carved into his own blades, creating countless serrations along the edges. This turned them into jagged, saw-like weapons. As a result, every strike no longer produced a clean cut, but instead tore into flesh with brutal force, inflicting wounds far more severe and difficult for demons to regenerate from. The design of his katanas is stripped down to the bare minimum. No tsuba, the hilts simply wrapped in coarse cloth, leaving the indigo-gray Hashira exposed. He doesn't even bother with a sheath. Instead, he ties both swords at his sides with cloth, ready to draw them at a moment's notice. Throughout his journey, Inosuke broke his blades twice, first during his battle against the father of the spider family, and later in the final confrontation against Muzan Kibutsuji. Yet for him, reforging and reshaping his swords only made them more wild, further aligned with his feral fighting style. If the standard Nichirin katana represents the disciplined ideal of a swordsman, then Inosuke's serrated katanas prove the opposite. He rejects convention entirely. They are the unmistakable mark of someone raised in the wilderness, apart from human society, but gifted with a primal instinct for battle, an instinct strong enough to create his own breathing style, beast breathing. Nichirin chained spiked flail and axe. Among the Hashira, Gyomei Himejima, the stone Hashira, is the only one who does not wield a Nichirin katana like his comrades. Instead, he carries a unique weapon, a massive axe and a spiked flail, linked together by a long chain. This is a modern variant of the kusarigama, a weapon originating from the Sengoku period, developed from farming tools to defend against bandits. What makes it remarkable is that the axe, flail, and chain are all forged from the same sunlight-absorbing steel as a Nichirin blade, allowing them to kill demons just as effectively as any sword. Even Kokushibo, upper rank 1 of the 12 Kazuki and a swordsmanship master of nearly 500 years, was forced to acknowledge the abnormal design of this weapon, keeping his distance when facing it. More than just a weapon, it reflects Gyomei's spirit. Engraved upon the axe are 4 large kanji reading, Destroyer of Demons, embodying dignity and determination. The weapon's gray coloration carries deep symbolism. It evokes Gyomei's constant torment and self-reproach over his past when he failed to protect the children under his care. Though blind, Gyomei can sense the movements of the chain through his extraordinary hearing, allowing him to precisely determine his enemy's location and footwork. This is why every swing of his axe and flail carries devastating power, strong enough to overwhelm Muzan Kibutsuji, at times battering him as if collapsing an entire house upon him. Gyomei's weapon, therefore, is not only imposing, but also a mirror of his inner depth, heavy and burdensome, just like the weight he carries in his heart. It emphasizes that Gyomei, despite his righteousness, courage, compassion, and loyalty, still wrestles with doubt about his own honor, the final quality he believes necessary to become a true samurai. Stinger, Nichirin Katana. The Stinger Nichirin Katana of Shinobu Kocho is perhaps the lightest blade in the entire Demon Slayer Corps. It was crafted by the swordsmith Tengen Kawahara, with a design completely altered from a traditional katana. From the hilt up to most of the blade, it still resembles a standard katana, but instead of extending into a sharpened edge, the tip is replaced with a hollow metal cylinder that ends in a needle-like point, resembling the stinger of an insect. For this reason, the weapon is called the Stinger Nichirin Katana, the poison stinger blade. This unique construction allows Shinobu to inject wisteria-based poison directly into demons' bodies, rather than relying on raw strength to decapitate them. It is her way of compensating for her physical limitations, turning medicine and toxin brewing skills into a deadly weapon against demons. In terms of appearance, the blade carries a bluish-purple hue. Its tsuba is shaped like a 4-petaled butterfly wing, colored turquoise with an orange outline, evoking the image of a butterfly. The hilt is orange, wrapped in turquoise fabric, capped with a striking orange Hashira. 2 distinct inscriptions are engraved along the blade. On the right side, the word evil demon, Aki, and on the left side, annihilation, Misatsu. Because of the weapon's modified structure, these engravings do not align as they would on a conventional Nichirin katana. Even the scabbard has been innovated by Shinobu. White in color, it is designed as a portable poison mixing and loading container, allowing her to quickly prepare and replenish toxins in the midst of battle. All of these elements make the Stinger Nichirin katana both artistic and lethal, perfectly embodying Shinobu's fighting style: swift, precise, and fatal. Nichirin Whip Katana. The Nichirin Whip Katana of Mitsuri Kanroji, a blade with a form and nature entirely different from all other standard Demon Slayer core weapons, was also forged by Tengen Kawahara. The Love Hashira is the only person capable of wielding this special sword, thanks to her superhuman flexibility and extraordinary physical strength. This blade is thin, supple, long, and extremely flexible, to the point that many liken it more to a metal whip than a sword. Its unusual construction makes it a flexible sword type, similar to the Urumi, an ancient whip sword originating from India. The blade itself is black-edged in pink, nearly as long as the wielder's height. It can bend, coil, and lash out in sweeping arcs, enabling unpredictable strikes from multiple angles. Unlike other swordsmen who require firm stances and great arm strength to slash, Mitsuri wields her weapon with elasticity and incredible speed, allowing her to strike from afar, hit multiple points at once, or focus all her might into a single lethal blow. Because of its dangerous and hard-to-control nature, only Mitsuri, with her extraordinary flexibility and physical condition, can use this weapon without injuring herself. The sword was crafted by Tengen Kawahara, the chief of the swordsmith village, the only one skilled enough to forge such a blade. In terms of design, the weapon reflects Mitsuri's distinct personality. Its tuba is shaped like a four-leaf clover, each leaf with a pink center outlined in radiant gold, engraved with the words "Destroyer of Demons," Akimasatsu, symbolizing her determination to annihilate demons. The hilt is deep pink, wrapped with green fabric in the shape of hearts, paired with a matching Hashira. Altogether, it creates a weapon that is both powerful and romantic, mirroring Mitsuri's feminine yet resolute character. In battle, Mitsuri exploits the length and flexibility of her sword to extend her range far beyond that of other Hashira. She can bend the blade through gaps to strike multiple targets simultaneously, or concentrate her full strength into a single devastating point. Because of this, whether in duels or large-scale battles, enemies are swept into an inescapable storm of whip blades. Despite being a soft, whip-like sword, Mitsuri still uses a standard white scabbard. Each time she sheathes it, she coils the blade in several loops, a whimsical and unique image that makes the weapon even more distinctive. The whip katana is not merely a tool of combat. It is the very symbol of Mitsuri herself, gentle yet strong, supple yet unyielding. Twisted Nichirin Katana. When speaking of Mitsuri, one cannot forget her beloved Obanai Iguro. His weapon is called the Twisted Nichirin Katana, a Nichirin blade with a serpentine curve, its shape winding like the body of a snake. This unusual form evokes comparisons to the kris, an ancient wavy-bladed sword from the Javanese kingdom of Indonesia. Historically, the kris was a symbol of power, worn by generals and nobles as a mark of status and strength. Its most fearsome trait lay in its undulating blade. When it pierced the body, the wounds tore wider and became far harder to heal than those inflicted by a straight sword. This same deadly feature is reflected in Obanai's Nichirin blade. His sword is lavender in color, its serpentine edge creating unpredictable and elusive strikes. The tsuba is a circular guard gilded in gold, depicting two mirrored snakes intertwined with vine-like patterns, bordered in purple, reminiscent of the emblem of a serpent king. The hilt is also purple, wrapped in matching cord, ending with a finely crafted golden Hashira. And like all Hashira, the blade is engraved with the four characters Destroyer of Demons, Akimasatsu, a testament to the eternal mission of the Demon Slayer Corps. Another unique feature lies in Obanai's scabbard. It is crafted from leather and bound with a light magnetic mechanism, allowing it to open automatically as the sword is drawn. This enables Obanai to unsheath his blade with extreme speed and minimal effort. Notably, he always draws vertically rather than horizontally like most swordsmen, a gesture resembling a solemn declaration of war against demons, dignified yet deadly. In Obanai's hands, the serpentine Nichirin becomes the perfect weapon for serpent breathing. His techniques rely on fluidity and unpredictability, cutting from impossible angles and excelling even within confined spaces. The curved blade allows him to twist, coil, and slip through blind spots, striking from directions no enemy would anticipate. The gun and blade of Genya. Genya Shinazugawa is an extremely special case. Unable to use breathing techniques like other swordsmen, Genya chose a completely different path, and his weapons are just as unconventional as he is. Instead of wielding a katana, Genya carries a double-barreled Western-style shotgun along with a Nichirin wakizashi. At first glance, this may not look like a demon-slaying weapon, but the bullets fired from this shotgun are forged from the same sunlight absorbing steel as Nichirin Blades, allowing him to kill demons permanently, even from a distance. The shotgun handles long-range combat, while the wakizashi is used for close quarters. Genya fights with extreme versatility, able to fire a shot and immediately close the distance with his sword, leaving enemies no time to react. His wakizashi also has a unique design. Its tuba is composed of two overlapping hollow ovals, colored in a dark brown tone, both classical and practical, enabling lightning-fast draws. However, what makes Genya truly dangerous is his ability to consume demon flesh. By digesting demon cells, he can temporarily gain supernatural powers, including enhanced physical strength and regeneration. During the battle against Kokushibo, Genya even consumed fragments of the blade created from upper rank one's own flesh and blood, causing his body to transform and channel demonic energy into his shotgun, giving birth to a technique never before seen in history. Once evolved, Genya's shotgun could fire bullets infused with a blood demon art. Upon impact, these bullets sprouted massive blood-draining trees that restrained enemies in place. Beyond immobilization, they also sealed off a demon's abilities, to the point that even Kokushibo himself was unable to use his blood demon art, a feat achieved by almost no one else. Genya often approached silently, opening fire without warning, before charging in with his wakizashi, fighting on par with any Hashira. Even without breathing techniques, he became a crucial force on the battlefield, specializing in harassment and suppression, a relentless threat to powerful opponents. Dual Nichirin Cleavers. Tengen Uzui, the sound Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps, is renowned not only for his flamboyant lifestyle, but also for his dazzling and powerful weapons, perfectly reflecting his flashy personality. Unlike other Hashira who wield traditional katanas, Tengen fights with a pair of massive Nichirin blades, accurately called dual Nichirin cleavers. These colossal weapons resemble oversized meat cleavers, their glossy black blades lined with amber edges, each one featuring a hollow groove along the cutting edge. What makes them truly unique is that the two blades are connected by a sturdy chain, giving them the appearance of dual nunchaku. This design allows Tengen to fluidly shift between conventional swordsmanship and wide-arc close combat, creating a combat style that is both unpredictable and extremely difficult to counter. The sheer size and weight of the cleavers are what generate their devastating destructive force. During his battle with Upper Rank 6, Gyutaro, every clash between Tengen's blades and Gyutaro's blood sickles resulted in massive explosions, not only dealing damage but also producing shockwaves that pushed the demon back. Tengen could even slam his blades against the ground to propel himself into the air, transforming gravity into raw momentum, a technique he personally devised and mastered. In terms of design, the cleavers feature circular T-suba with 4 notches, a luxurious golden hue with green outer lining, and a violet-red ring at the center. The hilts are deep blue, wrapped in red cord, ending with gold-capped pommels etched in intricate patterns, also serving as the point where the chain is fastened. Inscribed upon each blade are the words, "Destroyer of Demons," not only a pledge of oath, but also a symbol of Tengen's mission. Due to their oversized build, Tengen does not use scabbards. Instead, he carries both blades across his back, wrapped in cloth when not in use, always ready to be drawn in the heat of battle. The biwa of Nakime. Among the demons serving Muzan Kibutsuji, Nakime is a truly unique figure, not for her close combat strength, but for the biwa she always holds in her hands. At first glance, it appears to be nothing more than an ancient musical instrument, yet in truth, it is both her weapon and the very source of her power. When she was human, Nakime was a gifted musician, praised as a prodigy of the arts. But after becoming a demon, her instrument transformed into a terrifying weapon, bound to her unique blood demon art. Both the biwa itself and its plectrum were created from her own flesh and blood, unsettling proof of her demonic nature. Nakime's blood demon art grants her complete control over the Infinity Castle, Muzan's colossal fortress. With a single pluck of her strings, the entire space transforms. Hallways stretch endlessly, pillars shift, rooms rotate, and even walls close in to crush intruders. Nakime becomes the architect of the demon realm, turning the fortress into a deadly labyrinth. Even more terrifying, her hair can merge seamlessly with the walls, allowing her to manipulate the Infinity Castle as though it were her own limb. From the center of her chamber, she appears motionless, yet in truth, she controls every movement, motion within stillness. Another ability that makes Nakime indispensable to Muzan is her power to open dimensional portals. With a single strum, she can instantly transport anyone to any location within the Infinity Castle, and even aid Muzan himself in traversing Japan in an instant. Because of this, Nakime serves not only as the guardian of the Infinity Castle, but also as the conductor of transport for the entire upper rank hierarchy. Weapons of Hantengu's emotions. Among the 12 Kazuki, Hantengu, upper rank 4, stands out not only for his cowardice and paranoia, but also for his blood demon art that allows him to split into multiple clones, each embodying a different emotion. Every clone is a complete being, with its own thoughts, personality, and most importantly, its own weapon. First is Sakido, the embodiment of anger. He wields an electrified staff, resembling a monk's ceremonial tool, but charged with destructive lightning. Sakido constantly issues commands to the other clones, reflecting his domineering and hot-headed nature that overrides reason. Every strike of his staff unleashes bolts of lightning across the battlefield, mirroring the uncontrollable eruption of rage. Next is Urogi, the embodiment of joy. He does not wield weapons in the traditional sense, for his body itself is a weapon. His enormous bat-like wings grant him complete aerial freedom, while his talons, sharp as blades, are his primary tools of slaughter. From the skies, Urogi dives with terrifying speed, force, and precision, making him nearly impossible for swordsmen to counter. His twisted form of joy is the exhilaration of killing. Then comes Karaku, the embodiment of relaxation. His weapon is a massive maple leaf-shaped fan, orange at the center with green and blue edges. It may appear harmless, but with a single swing, it generates gales powerful enough to hurl enemies away. Following him is Izetsu, the embodiment of sorrow. His weapon is a spear that can freely extend or contract in length, symbolizing endless, lingering grief. Though he always wears a sorrowful expression, his strikes are unexpectedly fierce and precise, turning his despair into lethal killing intent. Finally, when Sakido absorbs the other clones, they converge into Zohakuten, the embodiment of hatred, Hantengu's most powerful and terrifying form. His weapons are a pair of drumsticks, forged from his own flesh, which he uses to beat upon massive drums growing from his back. Each strike summons wooden dragons, colossal constructs that can stretch up to 20 meters, attacking, crushing, or devouring their prey. Flesh Kama. Among the twin demons of the entertainment district, Gyutaro, upper rank 6, stands out with his signature and terrifying weapons, a pair of crimson blood sickles, known as the Flesh Kama. Unlike Nichirin Blades forged by swordsmiths, Gyutaro's sickles are born directly from his own flesh and poisonous blood. Every slash is not only razor-sharp enough to cut clean through a body with ease, but also infused with lethal venom, causing anyone struck to rapidly weaken. These weapons carry no concept of fairness. A single cut alone can decide life or death. The sickles appear blood red, their surfaces resembling raw, pulsating flesh, grotesque and unsettling. They are incredibly durable, capable of withstanding powerful strikes from Nichirin Blades without sustaining damage. Most disturbingly, Gyutaro can manipulate them with his willpower, sending them flying through the air before returning to his hands like deadly boomerangs, as if the weapons themselves were alive. The origin of these weapons traces back to Gyutaro's childhood. As a destitute child, he once wielded an abandoned sickle, which became his sole possession. That same weapon later inspired him, after becoming a demon, to forge the Flesh Kama, transforming them into extensions of his own body, inseparable from his being. Gyutaro's fighting style evokes the image of a praying mantis. His twin sickles, like razor-sharp claws, always aim for vital points such as the throat and head. His frail, gaunt appearance is nothing but a facade. In truth, every strike he delivers is swift, ruthless, and venomous, leaving opponents struggling to defend themselves. Japanese war fans. Doma, upper rank 2, stands out not only for his overwhelming power, but also for his elegant yet deadly weapons, a pair of gilded Japanese war fans. These fans were most likely created from Doma's own flesh, just as other upper ranks forged their weapons. They shine with a brilliant golden hue, adorned with lotus motifs and green tassels, altered to purple in the anime, and sometimes depicted as red-violet with green leaves on the manga covers. Their dazzling appearance makes them look more like works of art than instruments of death. But do not be deceived. Doma's fans are lethally sharp, capable of cutting and slicing with the force of blades, while also generating powerful gusts strong enough to sweep across an entire battlefield. Their durability is equally terrifying, able to withstand multiple strikes from Nichirin Blades without suffering a single chip, proof that they far surpass ordinary weapons. In Doma's hands, the fans become the perfect extensions of his cryokinesis blood demon art. Each swing is not only a slicing gust but also carries freezing, lethal power. Techniques such as scattering Lotus's ice and frozen Lotus engulf enemies in an artificial blizzard, where every crystalline Lotus petal can take a life. Even inhaling the air laced with his deadly ice particles causes immediate necrosis in the lungs, a cold and inevitable death sentence. The balance of offense and defense granted by the fans is nearly flawless. Doma can simultaneously ward off multiple swordsmen, maintaining distance while counterattacking with wind-laced, frost-infused strikes. His battle against Inosuke and Kanao demonstrated this clearly. Doma fought like an artist, graceful yet merciless, transforming the entire chamber into a frozen world of his own making. Symbolism also lies hidden within these weapons. The lotus is traditionally a symbol of purity, innocence, and warmth, yet for Doma, it becomes a mask for deception and danger. He twisted innocence, blind faith, and false warmth to sustain his eternal paradise cult, treating his followers as nothing more than a food supply. His golden fans, therefore, are not only weapons, but also a testament to his manipulative and emotionless nature. Kyokoku Kamusari, Kokushibo, upper rank 1, is regarded as the strongest demon after Muzan Kibutsuji, not only because of his moon-breathing, but also due to the grotesque and unique weapon he wields, the flesh katana, a Nichirin blade forged from his own flesh and blood. Before becoming a demon, Kokushibo was a legendary swordsman of the Demon Slayer Corps. At that time, he wielded a standard Nichirin sword of pale lavender, with a rectangular tuba carved with 4 notches at its corners. But after his fall, that weapon transformed into something terrifying, beyond imagination. His current flesh katana carries a deep crimson hue, its surface pulsing with vein-like patterns, and both the blade and hilt are covered in countless eyes. Whether these eyes extend his field of vision is uncertain, but their mere presence is enough to unsettle anyone. Its tuba is circular, rimmed in purple, with 3 eyes engraved at the center, surrounded by black vein-like markings. The hilt is wrapped in turquoise, capped with a purple Hashira. Even the scabbard has turned into a fleshy form, appearing as if it were part of his body. Kokushibo named this weapon Kyokoku Kamusari, empty cry of the godless, a name that alone radiates dread and despair. In terms of power, Kyokoku Kamusari is as sharp and durable as, if not superior to, traditional Nichirin blades forged from scarlet crimson iron sand and scarlet ore. Its most horrifying trait, however, is regeneration. Even if the blade is severed, it can immediately grow back, rendering any attempt to destroy it useless. In battle, Kokushibo can freely alter the weapon's form. From a single blade, he can generate multiple branching edges, transforming it into a multi-bladed weapon, with an attack range impossible to defend against. Combined with moon-breathing and his blood demon art, he unleashes countless crescent-shaped slashes that swarm chaotically across the battlefield. These waves of sword strikes are fast, unpredictable, and relentless, so much so that even if an opponent dodges one, they are immediately engulfed by the next. During his clash against Gyomei Himejima and Sanemi Shinazugawa, the blade was severed multiple times, only to regenerate instantly. Sanemi himself admitted that without decades of experience as a demon slayer, he would have been killed in the very first exchange. Kyokoku Kamusari is not merely a sword, it is the embodiment of Kokushibo's descent into darkness. From a once great swordsman, he chose to turn his own body into a weapon, becoming the most fearsome demon in history. Standard Nichirin Katana. In the world of Kimetsu no Yaiba, every swordsman of the Demon Slayer Corps begins with a standard Nichirin Katana, the only weapon capable of slaying demons. Though they share the same foundation, each sword bears unique traits, reflecting the personality and strength of its wielder. Tanjiro Kamado, upon forging his first sword, received a jet-black Nichirin blade, an extremely rare color regarded by many as an ill omen. His initial tsuba was a simple black circle resembling a wheel, with a red hilt wrapped in black. Through countless battles against Rui, Akaza, and even Daki, this sword was broken multiple times. After the Swordsmith Village incident, Tanjiro obtained a new blade discovered within Yoriichi Type 0, reforged and polished by Hotaru Haganezuka. This weapon retained its black color, but with flame-like engravings along the blade, and was fitted with the flame-shaped tsuba of the late flame Hashira, Kyojuro Rengoku, symbolizing the inheritance of his legacy. This sword remained with Tanjiro until the final battle against Muzan Kibutsuji. Giyu Tomioka, the water Hashira, wielded a black Nichirin blade with a deep navy blue edge. Its tsuba was hexagonal, with a bronze core and reddish-violet rim, reflecting his calm and stoic nature. The hilt was dark green wrapped in white, capped with a purplish-pink kashira. Inscribed on the blade were the words, "Destroyer of Demons, Aki Masatsu," marking his status as a Hashira. During his fight with Akaza, Giyu's sword was broken. Later, in the battle against Muzan, he was given another Nichirin sword by Sanemi, one that had belonged to a fallen water-breathing swordsman, featuring a deep blue blade and a tsuba designed in the shape of a whirlpool. Sanemi Shinazugawa, the wind Hashira, possessed a black Nichirin blade etched with jagged green patterns resembling the bite marks of a wild beast. His tsuba had an abstract, 8-point symmetrical design, with a forest green core and silver rim. The hilt was two-toned, wrapped in white at the top and bottom, with green in the center, finished with a deep green kashira. His scabbard was dark gray with scar-like markings, mirroring Sanemi's own scarred body and untamed spirit. Kanaotsuyuri wielded a pale pink Nichirin blade. Her tsuba was circular, with a pastel green center, a light green rim, and decorated with 3 5-petaled red flowers alongside flowing vine patterns. The hilt was pink wrapped in white, capped with a golden kashira. Her scabbard was plain black, simple yet elegant, complementing Kanao's quiet and graceful demeanor. Zenitsu Agatsuma, though timid in nature, carried a sword as striking as his thunder-breathing. His Nichirin blade was silver gray, engraved with golden lightning bolts stretching from hilt to tip, symbolizing the explosive speed of thunder. The circular tsuba bore 4 slight indents, a silver center, and a golden rim decorated with small triangular patterns. The hilt was yellow, wrapped in white silk, ending with a golden kashira adorned with 2 short white ribbons, refined yet distinctive. His scabbard was pure white, making it stand out vividly among his peers. Finally, the standard Nichirin katana of Kyojuro Rengoku appeared traditional in shape, but stood out with its deep red and black coloration and flame-like engravings along both sides of the blade. Inscribed upon it were the words, "Destroyer of Demons, Aki Masatsu," affirming the unyielding mission of its wielder. The hilt was wrapped in white silk, capped with an orange kashira, while its flame-shaped tsuba bore a red core, orange border, and radiant yellow highlights. Rengoku used a simple scabbard of white and gray. In his fateful battle against Akaza, the flame Hashira's indomitable spirit was pushed to the limit. As Kyojuro attempted to behead the upper rank 3 with all his might, his blade was snapped at the hilt. Before fleeing at the break of dawn, Akaza discarded the broken piece of the sword into the forest, bringing that tragic battle to its close. Later, the flame-shaped tsuba, the defining mark of a flame-breathing swordsman, was entrusted to Tanjiro Kamado. Thank you for watching until the end. Which weapon in Demon Slayer impressed you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to HT Anime so you won't miss the next exciting videos.